A breakdown on TSM's wild ride.
Thanks, Riv. I'm here with Prolly and Kobe again after another crazy game. Now, Kobe, it's going to be a marathon. Looks like you're ready for
this one is ridiculous. We've been yelling and sweating for the last, 20 minutes.
Yep.
North American LCS, we know drama.
Yeah, exactly. The
Two
new tagline.
Nexus kills by a single player, opposite teams. This is the best start to a series. Well, the most exciting.
Yeah, and it wasn't just one guy went to go get the Nexus. It was literally, it was like, all right, buddy, your turn. All right, your turn now. Man, that was pretty stressful.
I kind of wish that the viewers had an opportunity to see us back here, literally jumping up and down, yelling at our monitors. That was a crazy game. But probably as a veteran of games that go for a very long time, talk to me about the fact that this is happening in a best of 5. Where are their mental states going to be, endurance-wise? What comes into play here?
I feel like after that, TSM's going to be super hyphy for next game. I mean, ending a game like that, even when we would win games where we're just like getting stomped or something like that, and then we get some Nexus rush win right afterwards, that's such a satisfying win. Because that entire game, you're just biting your nails and stressing out and having to go to the bathroom. So many factors come in. So right when they finish that with Elise, they're all high-fiving, like, I did 20% of it, I did 50% of it.
Toto's like, I did 95% of it, and I got a little excited with my culling there.
Yeah, well, it was a team game, so he lowered it for Elise to get the spotlight.
Team game.
I respect that.
But it definitely wasn't an easy win for TSM. They got off to a great early start, but things kind of started to fall apart in the mid-game. Kobe, you want to talk to me a little bit about that?
Okay, so the wars over the vision in this game were really, really intense, and especially around Baron. Dignitas keep getting these Barons when they're already behind to get back in these games. And they're the team that has the Kog'Maw. They're the ones that are waiting for the late game, for TSM to have to run at them. And when they get these small windows, they did a good job of actually getting back into this game. Because remember how this started? All away at the very beginning of this game, TSM got a huge lead. Big mistake by Zion, teleports into the turret, gets killed by Lustboy with a great tower dive, and TSM take a huge gold lead. Within 10 minutes or something, they got 5 objectives.
Yeah, I think DIG is really, really good at objectives, especially Baron. And I think part of it is because of Kiwi. Kiwi has, he's not scared to die at all. You see he's flash playing on cooldown. He's ready to take one for the team. And I don't think TSM's practices against supports that do that are just, I'm going to get you kind of thing. And so a lot of their Barons come up off of successful Kiwi's flash plays with Thresh. So it's almost like if TSM recognizes this and starts playing more respectful of Thresh, they might be able to control Baron a bit. But if they keep walking up to Thresh and not thinking Kiwi's going to flash for him, they're just going to get caught again.
That being said, though, they threw a lot of attention onto the Thresh. We saw ults being blown just to take him down. I think at one point, Kiwi was 7 of Dignitas' 14 deaths. But that actually works out in Dig's favor. So is that an adjustment that TSM needs to make in terms of reprioritizing their targets?
So the thing is, when they get a pick, they have to kill their person that they pick so that they can have this advantage. But yes, obviously the highest priority target is the Kog'Maw, and they want to get him if they can. The thing that really stood out to me is since there are so many of these sort of super tanky champions on this DIG team that aren't doing a whole lot, they're all supportive in their just giant front line with 5,447 health Nunu and a 4,700 plus health Mundo. There was no Bork on Turtle for this whole game.
Yep. There was a lot of build a Bork yelling back here.
Instead of, and he already had Banshees too, so a little shield from Bloodthirster. Need something to cut through the front line, or else you get these crazy games that are like this, where they're just trying to take so long to kill the front line, and they never do get back to.
To be fair though, Bork wouldn't have done as much damage to the Nexus.
True.
That's true. I didn't actually think of that. But the big thing was when they were killing Kiwi, the 3 frontliners were Mondo, Nunu, Thresh, right? And focusing Nunu or Mundo, neither of them have hard CC. So by killing Thresh, it basically eliminated all the CC on Dig's side. So once Thresh was dead, they basically could walk through the fight and get to their backline. So the backline, as soon as Thresh died, would have to leave. And now the tanks are just alone, slightly slowing people. So although focusing the support is kind of not the best, against DIG, I felt like that was kind of the easiest way to get to their backline. Because Syndra can do a lot of damage with just QWE.
Exactly. I really like that because we saw it so many times. Even when DIG did have the upper hand and they were getting ahead, they had no means to force the fight. So they would just get run around by TSM. TSM could disengage for days. They would just throw out Syndra and Nami spells backwards, and they could continue to disengage. Even though Dignitas had the upper hand, they couldn't force the fight, and QtPie would run out of mana trying to do as much damage as it could trying to chase.
Let's pick apart the Dig comp a little bit, because we didn't see too much change in champion select. The Nasus was not target banned. The Mao was first picked again by TSM. So probably why didn't they just stick with what worked the first time?
I'm not really sure. I think it might have been nerves, and it might have been a confidence issue. I think maybe they're, in the back room talking, what if TSM figured out how to beat us? Like, what if TSM did this? We couldn't run Nasus again. So they kind of, I think, got scared of doing Nasus again just because it does have weaknesses, and TSM just didn't exploit it the first game, but they could have learned and exploited it the next game.
All right, well, let's jump into the replay just because it was exciting. We're going to take a look at Wild Turtle's attempt at backdooring the Nexus. Kobe, you were rather excited during this, so I'm going to let you walk us back through
Yeah,
it.
let's roll this. What happens here? Dash is over. So he's got his Trinity Force proc ready when he heads up there. And he's going to see the teleport behind him. He knows he's got a little bit of time to work with. What he's doing is weaving in his spells for not only the Trinity Force proc, but also the double shot. There, he leaves the Koang on for a little bit longer. He might have been able to get off that other shot just a bit quicker if he did the second activation of the R. Not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure he might have been.
I think it's either, if he hits RR quickly and tries to get the proc off, that could be okay, or if he focuses on dodging Thresh Hook. Because if he was able to get around Thresh Hook, save his dash for it, or just focus it, he was actually full health, and Cog had just gotten to base. So if he ran towards Mundo and just dodged the Thresh Hook, he probably could have ended it just with autos, but I understand hitting that Nexus, I doubt you can be, all right, I need to go next to Mundo and ignore that Thresh. You're just like, Nexus, kill it. So.
All right, well, given the outcome of that game, now we're in 1-1. It basically turns into a best of 3. So probably, what are we looking at now for the teams to do? What are they talking about in their game rooms right now?
I think Dig needs to go back to 4-1 kind of style, where Zion's on his own and can deal with Dyrus. I think that really suited them really well, and they only did it one time, so maybe if they pull out another champion other than Nasus that does the same thing, it'll be really strong. And for TSM, I think they should probably look for more engaged somewhere in their team comps. But other than that, they're doing really well as a team. Whenever they're as 5, they make big plays. They do something like when they're pretty much grouped at Dragon side and Dyrus got caught, they all decided to push mid and got a mid inhib off of Dyrus getting caught. So they work really well as long as all 5 are on the same page. So I think that's what goal they should be going towards.
Yeah, I do think that the onus is now on Dignitas to make the changes because, as you said, it's a huge momentum swing for TSM. They're going to be amped up after that last game. And Dignitas, they thrive. They've shown the best performance when they've been able to take TSM out of standard play. They don't want to have standard lanes, and they don't want to have standard team fights around Dragon because that's where they've been taken out. But if you go to split pushing strategies or if you go to lane swaps early on, then they've been able to gain advantages.
All right, well, we'll see what kind of adjustments they make. But for now, we're going to take a brief break while the teams load in for Game 3 between Team Solo Mid and Dignitas. Stay with us for more fireworks when our playoff action returns after this.